And welcome back to the TM World Tour April monthly competition as we go into the round of 32, Nua. And we have a very exciting matchup for our remaining Blue Jays player here. He will be going up against Binkss, Vanity, and his former teammate from last year, Razii, which is like super cool that they're like, we've gone through a whole year of them being teammates and going to the World Cup together and performing as well as they both did. And now we're back to a different format and they get to duel it out, which I don't know. I think it'll be pretty cool for themselves. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it should be a ton of fun to see how things do work out once we start to get into the match here as well. Going to be exciting, just in general, to see how all of these players perform. I mean, obviously, I don't know. How are you feeling about it? I think Epos and Binkss, right, we're probably favoring to get through this match, but like Razii, I think definitely maybe the little bit of the wild card factor there. And
Hmm.
Vanity is here, made it through the round of 64, which, as we've seen,
Yeah.
was a stacked round of 64. So I think at this point, from this point on, almost in the competition, there are kind of wild cards sitting all over the place. Road traps. What was I thinking? Like road spikes.
Yeah.
There's a better word. What am I looking for? I don't know. Doesn't
Oh,
matter.
I
Bike
know
strips,
exactly what you're thinking
police
about. No, I
chase,
know.
something like that.
I know what you're thinking about. The word will randomly come to us, and one of us will blurt
Yeah.
it out completely out of context in about 5 minutes' time. So just if you hear
Look
me or
forward to
Nua
that.
say, yeah, in 5 minutes' time there'll be a random word said, and you know,
Caltrops?
is it not like a minefield? You have to like navigate a minefield.
Well, sure, there's also that, but I do like the word
Yeah.
caltrops in this context, so thank
Okay,
you, Magpie, for
caltrops.
that one.
So
Caltrops is good, yeah.
there's a
Neko
few
Vanity, aka
caltrops. Yeah.
caltrops.
Turn that about to do.
Maybe in
As
the
yeah.
Trackmania context, we should call them Carltrops, because I feel like, we can associate,
See,
it's pretty
that's
it's
why you're
pretty good.
paid the big bucks, Noah. That's why you're paid the
I
big
can
bucks.
add the
Honestly,
letter R into words and make them
that's why
sound
you're paid
different.
that's why you're paid the big bucks. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah. So yeah, super exciting match to see Epos. Of course, they were robbers, and then they were split,
Hmm.
and yeah, they played the World
And
Cup
now
as
they've
split.
been split up.
Oh, where's the sad music? This is where you need Epos himself. This is the situation where you need Epos himself with his because he does
Sad
beatboxing.
beatboxing.
Yeah, he does beatboxing. So he has this like looping station, I think it's called, and he just
Yeah.
has noises on it, and he'll just like play sad piano. Like he'll say something or he'll crash it around, like when he's been absolutely cooking. Like he practices in VC sometimes if he's doing like not so serious prac, and if he's on a run and he's cooking, and he'll crash, he'll pause, he'll say "no," and then hit like sad music or something like that. And it's like big thing. Brilliant. But
That's
yeah, we're about to get into the match here in a couple of seconds, as I think we'll get flashbanged by the random map order,
Yep.
and then
Just a couple of seconds
yeah.
to figure it out from there. Oh, here we go. Any second. Maybe we've made. Oh, here it is. Cadence, Castle, Halfwood, Liftoff, and Sublimation. I struggled to count in order to 5 there, but we did get there. Should be interesting. Finishing things off on Sublimation, I think, is probably pretty spicy. We saw some of the
Hmm.
troubles that was causing in our last match as well. Shouldn't be causing as many problems for the players who've made it through to the round of 32, but still definitely a chance for things to get messy in our
Yeah,
as we look to lock in the last spot.
yeah, absolutely. As it's an exciting map order. Should be a pretty exciting match. Chris Binkss, Team GL, Neko Vanity is a good player that you hear his name from time to time, and then of course Epos and Razii for what they did at World Cup and
Mm.
last time out. So there is names in this lobby, and that's what we were saying before we got started, right? That once you get to top 32, and certainly now top 16, it's going to be ridiculous. It's like the
Yeah.
level is just gonna increase exponentially what you're trying to go to until we're
Oh,
left with
absolutely.
four, and then someone walks away with just like 1,000 World Tour points and like a smaller prize of €600. Like, who cares about the €600, right? Like, it's kind of just whatever.
1,000
Like,
world
I'd
tour points,
rather I'd
baby.
rather throw 1,000 World Tour points personally for me.
That does feel a little bit like one of those things that was going around on Twitter a while ago of like, if you got $1,000,000 an hour at 10,000 euro every day, take the 10,000 euro, that's passive income. Like, like 600
It,
euro or 1,000 world tour points, I'm taking the 1,000 world tour points. That's
isn't a
passive
million an
income,
hour?
baby.
Isn't a
Yeah.
million an hour also passive income?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Those memes were mostly because the original post did not do the maths very well.
And we are absolutely not going to do our maths on this stream because we'll both get exposed.
Yeah, no, that's correct. Epos has had a rough start to round 1 here. This is the full speed map. Cadence, and by full speed I mean, hey, there's at least a little bit of full speed at the start of it, and that does mean early mistakes, pretty punishing, but Epos has recovered well, has not fallen too far behind the other drivers, in fact has gained on the back of the pack as Vanity starts to drift a little bit away from Binkss and Razii. Good start for Binkss, but Razii with a little bit of touch allows Epos back through into second place, driving well after a poor start.
Yeah, Epos was like the speed size I just saw from Epos. I never thought I'd see the day. He has clearly spent hours with Josh in a VC, absolutely cooking them up because they were beautiful. He was just gaining speed constantly. As we go into the dirt, followed by wood, followed by dirt, of course, where we saw Boz make that fatal mistake for him and his chances in this comp. Will Epos make the same? How did he not touch?
Hey, miracles.
Oh my days. That is an absolute miracle. But Razii almost catching him, but not quite enough.
Yeah. Binkss crashed. Epos won the round. Did Binkss go for the safe fin? He must have, right? That's the only thing I can think of based on the fact he still finished pretty quickly.
Had nothing been said, I would have thought Binkss had won that round.
Yeah.
I didn't even see what happened.
I was very focused on the Epos Razii battle. You know, I mean, Razii had a moment earlier in the track as well where he got very close to an outside dirt wall and gained a lot on Epos, and then Epos just about keeping the car out of the wall at the end there. Looked very clean. But look, it's all in the past now. Binkss only has 3 points. That's fine. He's also not off to a good start this time around. Both him and Vanity a couple of seconds behind, as Epos has had a much cleaner start in this round, and Epos could be looking at 20 out of 20 points.
Yeah, which would be, you know, literally a perfect start, as he doesn't make the mistake at the start of the map here, and Razii also doesn't make the same mistake he made last round with having to release on the outside dirt, as they're both quite close together now, as they have slightly different lines in the dirt. I think that's a speed thing more than anything else for Epos, that you literally can't enter it if you have the speed at which Epos was traveling at. But Razii now will be hoping on a mistake from Epos in the last outside dirt, as Epos gets it a lot cleaner this time, and even Razii safing just a little bit, and into the finish they go, followed by Binkss and then Vanity.
Yeah, 106.894. That's a much better time from Epos, starting to chop that down a little bit, as that's not the start that Binkss would have wanted. Sitting on 7 points, as Epos will be very happy with how the first 2 rounds have gone. It was confirmed a Binkss clip on the final corner in the first round that forced a respawn and allowed Epos through, with Razii sitting in second place. Vanity, once again, rough start, full crashes that wall as well. And so it's Epos and Binkss up the top, Razii right alongside them though as well. That looked clean from Epos, carrying a lot of speed, a very nice speed drift through that section, has regained, re-overtaking Razii as well.
He has a slightly different line here, Epos, in the loop, that he goes more inside, and it doesn't seem to lose or gain anything from the other, so maybe it's just a personal preference thing for him and the line he wants to take. But as Binkss clips the wall and allows Epos through again, and now Epos and Razii, we were so used to watching them as a team all through last year, as we now must watch them fight it out as solo players in this new format that we have, as now again Epos leading Razii into the last wood and into the last dirt, one looking for a mistake from the other, as Epos gets an insane outside. That's ridiculous. And finishes with a 106.5, which is only 0.3 behind the online world record. It's also, yeah, it's 2 times behind his PB. Okay, nice.
It's pretty fast. It's pretty quick.
It's pretty quick. Quicker than
I mean, I do
anyway.
appreciate all of the nice times in chat, but current world record holder Josh, not gonna hit him with one. That's
no,
he's like, that's fine. You know, I could do better.
Yeah,
and
I could do better.
He's right.
Rumors that Josh has only 18 minutes on the map, and
I heard it was his first run, actually.
I heard it was Discovery. He saw FDs and immediately gained 0.4 on everyone.
Yeah. Tracks. Hey, Binkss off to a very good start this time around. Razii and Epos once again dueling it out. Epos, I think, losing a little bit of speed through the dirt on that section, and will drop behind a little ways, but plenty of room left still to catch back up, and he is in fact catching back up at a speed. Razii letting off the accelerator a little bit through that dirt means that Epos is through into second place, but it is not done just yet. One more dirt section to go. We've seen Disaster can strike on this. Bozbez cut down in his prime by the upcoming dirt section. In our last match,
Oh,
Binkss chopped down. He didn't even make it to the dirt. He hits a wall on the way in. He'll drop into 4th place. Epos leads the way. Perfect 40 from 40 for Epos on map 1. Was it deserved? It literally does not matter because he has it anyway.
exactly, Nua, exactly. And that is the dream start if you're Epos in this scenario. No nerves, you've kind of settled everything down. Everything is completely, you're settled now. You've taken 40 from 40. You've started literally the best you possibly can. And now it's just about maintaining that gap for the rest of the match. You can kind of there's a lot of pressure off, right? Because he's 16 points ahead so early.
Mm,
There's a lot of just you can slowly but surely allow yourself to just let the muscle memory, let your practice, let your training take over and do
yeah.
everything. And yeah, that's what Epos will be hoping happens here.
Yeah, and I think there's an interesting point to be made there about what we're seeing from Binkss in particular is I would suggest potentially that some of the TMGL players, and I'm not saying anyone in particular or anything like that, and I have no proof of this, but that they potentially came into this competition saying, yeah, we are the best players in the world. We are very, very, very good at this game, and maybe do not have the hours of prac in that some of the other players do have on these maps. And that's the kind of thing that does lead to maybe mistakes similar to what we've seen from Binkss, where clearly the pace is there, the consistency has not quite locked in just yet.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that is, that's a dangerous, that is a bounce from Vanity. That is a dangerous mindset to put yourself into where you think, you are the best. You don't need as much practice as this person. But it's also the type of mindset that Epos will be looking to just, you know,
Yeah,
hatch on and
capitalize.
just absolutely destroy the man. As we see here, as they both go into the ice side together, Binkss will be hoping that he can stay ahead. Epos
Ooh.
is trying his best to catch him.
Oh,
Unfortunately, gets a weird. I'm not sure if it's a gear or if it's a slide out on that ice line, but something weird happens near the top. That if
yeah.
you're on the wrong line, you kind of just stutter a little bit and lose some speed. As Vanity just about makes it in. Fair play to him. But yeah, like you said, he possibly hoping to just capitalize on that Binkss kind of maybe he hasn't practiced as much because he thought, oh, I'll just get myself into top 16 or top
Yeah.
32 and that'll be good enough for me.
Yeah, happily walk away with it. I mean, to be fair, it's a long year. There will be, we hope and we imagine, plenty more homologated tournaments to go throughout the year. So if you are consistently playing them and you are as good as a lot of these TMGL players are, even without a huge amount of practice, probably going to be breaking into the TM World Tour points positions, you'll be
Hmm.
picking up a few along the way, absolutely. So, I mean, we'll wait and see, right? This match is not over yet. That is a round win for Binkss. He has picked one up now. He's back within 4 points of Razii. It's not over, even a little bit, right? Despite several mistakes on the first map from Binkss, he's still sitting in decent position in this match.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. As all players have managed to get clean to this point so far. So we have a really nice round on our hands here as Razii overtakes Binkss into the ice slide, and now Epos will be looking for any sort of mistake from either of them. None of them stall out, and Epos cannot catch up. That was a good round.
It was a
That
much
was a
better
good
round, yeah.
round. First to fourth covered by 4 tenths, and 2 tenths covering the top three. That's a good round.
Yeah, and we'll say solid times as well.
Mm.
58.1's kind of for the top couple of places there as well is very, very quick on this map. About 4 tenths off of current world record. So nice to see. Competitive rounds are what we're always here for, and those will
Hmm.
continue to become more and more common as the day goes on. As Epos, decent start. We love to see that, as Epos has been looking quick in general, but I would say I think the starts on a couple of the maps have let him down a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, but it's okay. It'll be okay. This line here, he seems to always be losing time to Binkss here. I'm not sure if he's making a mistake every time, or if he
Mm.
maybe has a slower line to what Binkss has. But every time they've gone through that section, Binkss has caught up just a little bit, just enough to, if he was in contention, put himself ahead, like we're seeing here. So hopefully, hopefully Epos can catch him back up here as they go through the dirt. This dirt looks so difficult to navigate as
Yeah.
it's just bumpy everywhere and keep your speed and try the ice slide up the hill to try catch Binkss as he gets a slightly worse exit than him. And another great round there as
Yeah.
yeah, 600 separating the top two. And Razii was thereabouts as well, waiting for a mistake, but the mistake never came.
Yeah, and that, I mean, the time Epos drove in that round would have been good enough to win the last round, right? Like, that's
Hmm.
kind of the margins that we're playing on at the moment as well, up in the top two there. Razii has managed to hold on to the advantage he has over Binkss, but only by 2 points at the moment in the match. So absolutely, Binkss with a couple of very strong rounds has immediately caught back up in the match. Epos still with a 16-point lead is looking for a strong round. A single round win here, I think, would set him up very nicely going into the final 3 maps. I mean, coming away with, 60 plus points out of the first 2 maps makes you feel very confident, I think, of locking in that top 2.
Yeah, 100%. And it's all about locking in top 2 from here on out, and just getting yourself progress further and further into the competition. But Epos entered this map with a 16-point lead. He'll either exit it with more or less, depending on maths, because that's how maths works.
Excellent analysis. Thank you, OC.
He will not exit with a 16-point lead again, but he might exit with a round win here, as he goes much more inside on the ice side, but has slightly less speed than Binkss. Who he almost hit the wall on the right there as well. That was close.
Yeah.
But yeah, another good round there for all 4 players. Covered by half a second, which is not something we saw last match in the round of 64. So you can definitely tell that there's been an improvement in the level of playing so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought for a second there Epos had him. We have seen that kind of right of pole at the finish look like the slightly faster line a lot of the time, just because the exit from the ice kind of sends players with a little bit more speed towards the finish line. Unfortunately, Epos not quite able to close that one out, and so he will exit those first 2 maps with 62 points, 12 ahead of Binkss. I mean, that's kind of what we were saying though. Like, the win would have been huge for Epos there. He would have been, comfortably kind of 20 points clear of second place on 66 points. But you take 62, having only dropped 18 points so far. Firsts and seconds pretty much exclusively so far for Epos. And feeling very comfortable with the map so far, with the match so far, as we head to Halfwood.
Absolutely, yeah. So we have Halfwood now, followed by I believe it will be Liftoff and then Sublimation last.
Yep.
So into the 3rd map of this here, and Epos will, of course, look to try and propel himself towards that 100-point total, and maybe not even need the 5th map, which would be quite an impressive way to get out of a top 32 round. But he leads here anyway, as there hasn't really been any mistakes from any of the players so far. The pack, Vanity has dropped back a little bit, but the pack is very, very close, as you can see, and yeah, looking like it's going to be a good round here.
Yeah, just kind of a tenth separating them. It's extended to 2 tenths as Binkss is extending his lead. Epos still sits in 2nd place. Consistent 2nd places would feel pretty fine, I think, if you're Epos from this point on, but firsts are better. That's close. That looked aggressive from Epos. I think Razii has him. It's going to be close to the line, as it was a thousandth. Razii went wide and left, and that very nearly allowed Epos the space to sneak through into 2nd.
Yeah, that was a seriously good round there, and once again you saw that on wood, that speed is just insane as you go into that transition, and you kind of just have to hope that your car grips, and then grips well enough that you don't lose all your speed. And Razii almost flying off the side of the map there, which is yeah, wood is pretty hard to drive, especially when you're nervous, and the smallest input can throw you completely the other way, as Razii clips on the dirt wall here. Stays ahead of Vanity, but then clips again, unfortunately for him. So Vanity will find himself on 3rd place, which is somewhere he's been really so far this match. He's had a couple thirds. Epos also makes a mistake. Now he's just been gifted a 2nd. And now he has to, for him in this match, he needs to make sure he holds on to this, as Binkss is kind of running away with this round here.
Yeah. That's what, watching Wood driving, I do always kind of feel like, given the speeds that they go around it in general, when you hit it with a lot of speed, you carry it, Vanity's going to crash. Maybe a 2nd place still up for grabs. Epos is through into 2nd place. I was just going to say, it feels like plastic. You should be seeing the cars accelerating wildly if they're slow hitting it. And that's just not how the surface works, even a little bit. And as we saw Epos have there, he'll pick up a 2nd nonetheless, which... Hey, you're delighted to get in that round. 3.5 seconds off first, and you get a 2nd place. That's great. You're delighted with yourself.
But also, Binkss has closed the gap to Epos now.
Yeah,
just 2 points separating them. It was 16 before we went into the last map. It's now 2. So Binkss has certainly warmed up into this match and is beginning to, drive more consistently, which is what we didn't see from him in the first map, and kind of caused him to have that deficit of points, I suppose, as he had the pace most rounds, but just couldn't finish. So
Yeah, I think looking at how we maybe expected this match to play out, Binkss and Epos first and second place, whatever order that ended up being in, as that was a full crash. I think Neko Vanity will end up at the back of the pack again. Epos is in third, and Binkss is looking to start to move into first place for the first time in the match. A round win here catapults him in front of the other drivers. Razii pushing him though. Going to be close between the two of them. Epos looking just happy to sit here, I think, hope for a mistake, and otherwise just take your third place point and move on with your life, move on to the next round. Binkss still leads, Razii still pushing. Binkss though I think has that locked up. He will get to the finish line first place. Razii a 10th and a half behind. Epos takes a third, and that is a-okay at this point of the match. Binkss will move into first place.
Yep, Binkss moving first place by 4 points ahead of Epos, but it's okay. It's fine. It's completely fine. You just need to get top two, and Epos will. He's kind of maybe in this match stalled out just a little bit, but I think I can expect him to warm up into it a little bit more again as it goes on. He'll find another gear and suddenly become Epos again and be untouchable, and it'll just be life. You know what I mean? That's just how these things go sometimes. Is all three players who we expect in this match get a good start. As Neko Vanity comes back a little bit, fair play to him. He's still fighting. Which fair play to him, you go into TMIO and you're like, oh, okay, I've made it through the first round. What's my next match going to be? And you see Razii, Binkss, and Epos, and you're like,
three World Cup attendees from last year.
Yeah, that's a little bit tricky. Binkss clips on the inside, and then Neko Vanity clips on the outside, I believe. So now Epos has been gifted a first place here, which hopefully he will be able to.
Said that a few too many times in this match, because it's kind of been true, right? Epos has been gifted a few first places, which is largely just that Binkss is very quick but has been crash prone. Epos will take full advantage of them though, and once again take a first place. Razii sits in second, and Epos jumps up to 86 points. He is getting very close to finalist.
He's getting very, very close to finals, and you do fancy him. He will take this match, or should take this match away, at least on liftoff, which will be our next map.
Yeah, there's a world where both of our finalists managed to get out of here, I think. No, I think we're guaranteed to see the final map. We only have 4 rounds. They both need to win a round on finalist. No, they could get there. We could not go to sublimation at all.
Yeah, 16 and 14.
Here, let me draw it up for you, okay? Epos wins the first round, Binkss comes second. They move to 96 and 90 points respectively. Binkss wins the second round, and Epos comes second or third. They both hit finalist mode, and then Epos and Binkss win round 3 and 4.
See, this is why Nua is a proper caster, because he can do the maths quickly. I was struggling, so thank you very much, Nua. As Razii and Neko Vanity make early mistakes, so we should see one of the things happen. We should see Epos or Binkss win the round here. And as it goes, so Epos wins, Binkss wins, then either wins, then the other one wins. Okay, okay, let's see.
But also they need to get the seconds or thirds in those other rounds. Look, we'll see. Look, it'll shake out, and it all depends on who wins this first round. Anyway, it's neck and neck. I mean, between these two, to be honest, they don't need to be risking that hard. Their fight is not with each other right now, but they were still pushing. Binkss will clip a little bit. It's not a bad clip, but he will slip behind Neko Vanity, and that's disastrous for the world in which we don't have to see sublimation. Epos will cross the line in first place. Neko Vanity will take second. Binkss will drop a long way down, but he's still not as far back as Razii takes third. We're gonna see sublimation.
We are gonna see sublimation as Epos puts himself up onto 96. But do we have to see sublimation? No, we don't. We still don't.
No, we do at this point, I think, right?
Epos comes third. Binkss wins 98, 100. Epos wins.
But then
Binkss
Binkss isn't on finalist then, even if he wins this round.
Oh yeah.
Like Binkss will be on finalist going to sublimation in that world, but we need at least one round there to decide it. Binkss needed to get second in that last round.
God damn it,
Binkss. I'll be honest, I'm fine. I've been enjoying watching sublimation, so I'm kind of happy that we're not avoiding it.
yeah. It's been nice to see the 5th map and everything, so you can see these maps that Nadeo provided to us for the homologated circuit for the first 2 monthlies, I believe, and then I think we got 5 new maps for the next 3, and then there's possibly more after that. It's very new. It's very hard to understand. As Binkss not making a mistake on this round, and will find himself in first place.
Yep, will pick up the win. Epos only needed a third or better in order to move to finals mode. He picked up a second anyway, just putting a little bow on it. And Binkss will be on 98. So Binkss will be on finalist after this round, no
Yes.
matter what. Entering Sublimation. Epos, if he wins this round, will just leave us behind. Will not have to play Sublimation, but we saw Epos in the time attack earlier as well. He's very quick on that map, so I wouldn't be too worried for him if we do end up there. Razii with a mistake. I mean, we probably should be talking a little bit about Razii as well, as the player currently sitting in third place. Needed a win in this round. It's kind of too late to say that now, but he did. He did need a win in this round.
Yeah, 100%. He needed a win in this round, but I think Epos got wet wheels.
Yep.
Yep, he did. That's
fine.
saved
It's whatever. He's going to see Sublimation as well. He's going to get some icy wheels.
So. Apparently so, but yeah, of course, Razii now will just be hoping for, but not for, well, it didn't really matter if Binkss did or didn't win, I suppose. He's going to be in finals anyway. But Razii will now need to really make sure he keeps it clean the whole way through here. Binkss could still make a mistake and have Epos win this here, but it doesn't look like he will. Unless he misses the finish ring. No, he jumps in the middle. Yep, that's a smart choice. Didn't try it, like actual bullseye on the ring there. Didn't even think for a second to find out what would happen if he did clip, as we enter a double final situation and we go on to, oh no, we're still here.
Oh, well,
wait,
my maths was
I was right.
Then. You were. No, because this was the fourth round and both of them needed to one of them needed to have won in the last round. So like the thing was, even if Epos had won in round 3, then Binkss would have been hitting finalist. Well, whatever. Listen, whatever. He could have made it out. That's fine. Look, I was wrong. Okay, what do you want from me?
That's hard. Stay in school, kids. Stay in school, kids, and make sure you do your maths homework so you don't end up like the Endura. What is good for Epos now here?
For OC's sake, we just need to phrase them all as chemistry questions somehow.
Yeah.
Like the molecular weight of a first place.
I now understand perfectly. As Epos will be
Epos is about to win.
Us here.
It's great. Good job, Epos. Should maybe have been a little bit more hype, I'll admit that, but this has felt like a foregone conclusion for a little while. Epos was doing very well in this match, so has Binkss. Razii is currently 18 points away from finalist. There is a chance that he manages to catch back up, overtake Binkss here on Sublimation, because Sublimation can get messy. The Ice 360 right at the end of the map could get spicy, but we'll focus one more time on the fact that Epos of Blue Jays has managed to get through in first place as first seed from this round of 32. Will move to a quarterfinals into the round of 16, and we will have a POV to follow without having to think about it.
Yeah, absolutely, as we will finish out this match here on Sublimation as either, unless Neko Vanity suddenly is him, we should see the match ending on this map here.
Yeah.
As Binkss just needs a win, Razii needs 2 wins.
Yeah.
3 wins. My apologies.
It would be, I mean, if Neko Vanity does suddenly become him and just grinds out 4 wins in a row, he still needs to get it done on Cadence, which did not go great. And, well, there's a world. It's a slim chance. Razii is in the lead, and this is a close battle at the front, right? Like, if it turns out Razii is doing very, very well on Sublimation, and Binkss is not, which certainly the case in round 1, Razii could do it. Okay, well, bye, Razii. Neko Vanity through into first place. Binkss, he's trying to take over Neko Vanity right now. Razii is screaming and crying and praying that Neko Vanity can take a first place, but Binkss has regained the lead. He just needs to nail the 360. Neko Vanity, that's pretty clean. It's not clean enough. Binkss is through. He's around the final corner. And Binkss will be the second player to leave this match. It took 1 round on Sublimation.
Yeah, absolutely. And that'll be our top 2 from this match. Epos and Binkss. Epos and Binkss bringing themselves into the top 16 of this, which is, you know, they're still going. They're still there. That's all you can be for now. You can just be thereabouts as you keep progressing and keep surviving the whole way through until top 8, top 4.
Yeah. Would you like to know how many points Razii picked up for his efforts in this match?
It's probably 10 or like 15.
Ooh, close, but no, he's gotten even better. It's 25 points. Congratulations, Razii. A full quarter century. The players who move into the top 16 now guaranteed at least 50 points. congratulations to them. And one of those players is Epos, another one is Binkss. Across the other matches, I'm not sure what's finished. I've not been keeping an eye out because too engrossed in the match we had on our screens. Uh, There's only one about to finish. It is Otak and Carl, as might be expected, in their match against Nako and Ignite. That has just wrapped up. Otak takes the win. Carl Jr. in second. Scarily for Epos, that does mean that there is a chance that he ends up against Carl Jr. in the round of 16, because Carl
Yep.
Jr. is now a second seed going into that match.
Oh
But that's
no.
all in the future. For now, I think we're going to throw to another quick break. We'll be back with the quarterfinals of the April Monthly Cup for the Trackmania World Tour, and we look forward to seeing you there.